Okay. Today I would like really us to look at the business orientations, and then we look at the role of marketing in an organization. And I was also hoping we could do marketing planning as an introduction. But let's see how far we can go. Uh, we tried to define the issues related to market, what is a market, and kinds of markets which are there and things like that. Now, um, we want to look at how companies operate, which we are calling as business orientation, or as your heading there says, company orientation towards the marketplace. Okay. So the first, what this orientation stands for are like concepts, or sometimes they are known as philosophies or orientations, which signifies or explains the beliefs upon which the businesses are operating. Okay, and when we are talking about the beliefs, is the central approach to practicing of their businesses. Okay, maybe Joe, is it possible you could mute your mic? Okay, thank you. Okay. So one of the concepts that we can talk about is what is called the production concept. Now, production concept, customers are going to buy what is available on the market so long as it is available and affordable. Okay. Now, the job of the management then is to keep on improving on production as well as distribution. I want to say that again. This belief or this orientation is where we see a company that is producing goods where people buy these products as long as they are available and affordable. Now, the management is always working hard to improve on their production output and to ensure that the products are distributed widely. That's where much of their efforts are. Now, two things ought to be available for this to take place. The first is that the demand for the products or goods and services are high for that particular organization. So the company even fails actually to meet those demands. The second is that the cost of production is equally high, or providing a service is equally high. In this aspect, you're going to see that the company is practicing production orientation or product production concept because they lean more towards production. They are struggling to produce more. When if thinking in terms of examples of these organizations, most utility companies tend to fall under this. Yeah. And in Zambia, we have a number of utility companies that we know that we can identify as practicing production concept. Maybe could one give us one example?
Nkana
What
water.
comes in your Yes, Nkana water. The demand for their water, of course, we're talking about piped water. The demand is high, that they have to struggle all the time to meet that demand. And the cost of providing that service of water is equally high. Yeah. You know, such companies can even have a marketing department or public relations department. Now, much of their marketing activity is what we call demarketing. Demarketing. Demarketing is the approach where you want to level off or to reduce the demand for your product because you can't afford or you can't manage to fulfill that demand. So we call it demarketing. For example, if it is the example we're given on Kana is where you are educating people to seal the links for the, what do you call them, leakages for their taps, and you're always educating them or telling them don't use the hose pipes in the cleaning vehicles, or don't do this, conserve this water, water is important, that kind of thing. If it was like another utility company, I can think of if it was electricity, ZESCO, our ZESCO national utility company, their demarketing would be switch and save. Yeah. But if you're a marketer, you want to encourage people to use your product more. But now they tend to do the opposite because companies of that kind struggle to deliver those services or product. The second concept that we can think of is what is known as product concept. Now, in this concept, the belief is that people or customers, in this case, will favor products that show the most quality, performance, or unique features. Yeah, that's the belief that people are only going to buy our products once they see that this product is a qualitable product. It performs well, and it's got features that attract customers. Then they'll be in that position to buy those products. So management then gets preoccupied with improvement of the product itself. Okay. Now, two conditions ought to be there for such a concept to hold. The first one is that customers are elite, if you want, or they're sophisticated. They know what they want. We call it customers are affluent. Affluent in the sense that they have money, and then, which is disposable income anyway, and then they are conscious of quality. For such products, then you just have to practice the product concept. The other one, a second point, is that companies invest a lot in research and development. Yeah. Now, there's only precaution, a caution here that should be taken into account when you're talking about this concept. In a number of companies, it has led them to what they call marketing myopia. This is a concept whereby you become narrow, or you are even far ahead in your possessed, if you want, or obsessed with the issue of quality, to the extent that you leave majority of the customers behind. And as a result, you're going to find that your investment might not be recouped. And one typical example of such was or has been a company called Nokia. Yeah, Nokia were the first ones to come up with the number of technological advancements. And you remember that one of their products which really made them to make money was 3310, and they became popular because of that. Afterwards, they invested a lot into this. Eventually, they left most of the customers who could have been buying the products behind. They're far. But such investment could not be recouped because the market became smaller and smaller for them. Yeah. So this must be done with caution. It's a good thing. Now, examples of industries or companies that practice this could be mostly those in. Maybe I could ask you, which companies do you think can practice this or are practicing this product concept the way we have explained it? Yes, Mr. Chongu.
I think Unilever.
Okay.
Yes, I think it's one
You
of them.
okay, okay. Oh, Unilever makes it varieties of products, eh?
Yes,
They're in the range of like when Trade Kings, eh?
yes. In fact,
Okay.
I think it's just the name which they have changed. It's Trade Kings.
Seriously?
I think
But
it's one
Unilever
of
has been no. Unilever has been in existence for a long time.
Unilever.
Ah,
Is it not one the same with Trade Kings?
no, they're not the same. They are competitors actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only that
Unilever.
Unilever mhm, has has been in existence longer than even Trade Kings. And they've
Okay.
been making remember such things like Safu, Omo, of those old days.
Yes.
They were still the people who are making those products and many others actually. Now they have hundreds of them. Anyway,
Yes.
but what about if you think about uh, companies that are in electronic gadgets or electronic products tend to follow this product concept.
I think
Yeah, they're
Tekno is
always
one of them.
they're always trying to come up with new versions.
Yes.
Even those in the motor industries in these days now, where every year there's a new model car. Those are people whom we can classify as practicing the product concept. Okay.
Let me try, sir, to give
Yeah.
maybe a few companies which are practicing the product orientation.
Okay.
I think in electronics, I think Apple, the ones who make computers, I think they're
Good.
also practicing the product orientation. And
Good.
then in terms of vehicles, I think Rolls-Royce, they're also
Okay.
practicing this product orientation because they really
Okay.
concentrate on the product itself, the quality of the product,
Oh, yeah.
just to give that differentiation in terms of their product.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Let's look at number three. Concept number three. It's called selling concept. Yeah. In this concept, the belief is that consumers are not going to buy enough, or they are not buying enough of our products that we are producing. So what do you do? Yeah, you take a strategic approach where you now do aggressive selling and promotion effort. And when we say aggressive, you're trying to push the product actually. Yeah, and you're going to do anything that will help you to dispose of or get rid of that product. That is what you're calling as the selling concept. Now, the starting point of selling concept is that you first of all produce many goods, and you even stockpiling them. You got a number of them in your storehouse, warehouse. Um, then you realize that no, people are not buying enough. So we want more volume. So what do? You employ more salespeople. You employ more sales promotion tactics or techniques to ensure that it attracts or compel the customers to buy more of the product that you are offering on the market. That is what you're calling selling concept. In terms of examples of companies that you can observe, even though we are not there, mostly those people that are selling or organizations that are selling things like personal policies, life policies. Yeah, people don't buy those things anyhow anymore. But you got to push and push until they buy. There could be some other products as well in the same category that many people don't. Those maybe doing furniture, those doing other durable kind of products. People don't just easily buy those ones. So they have to be convinced that they need to buy them. Selling encyclopedia in those days was a good example. Yeah, because nowadays now we don't talk much about it because encyclopedias are on our laptops or they are on our phones. You can make use of that. So this is the concept which is called selling. Yeah. In fact, if when you compare it to the next concept, which is number 4 now, marketing concept. The marketing concept holds that you know, for the company to be successful, to make money, to be profitable, you must first identify the needs of the customers and then satisfy those needs of the customers in a competitive way and convincing these customers that they need to buy your product. Yeah. So 4 elements tend to be in this concept. One is you identify the needs of the customer. Then you satisfy those needs, customer satisfaction. Then you're going to make money, which means you become profitable. But you must also, as a marketing, be in a position to coordinate the activities of the company that will help you to deliver the satisfier to the customers. That's about the marketing concept. Now, look at how they contrast as a philosophy. The selling concept starts with the production of the products and stockpiling them. And then you realize they're not selling more in terms of volume. Then you find ways of getting rid of them, so to speak. The other one is approach, which you can say outside in. You start with the customers outside there, understand their needs and wants, and then you come inside to produce a product that will help you to deliver the satisfier to those customers. So, as a philosophy, selling and marketing are opposing or in the opposing directions, so to speak. Okay. I'm sure you've seen that point, but you're going to see that most of what we'll be learning will be actually based on the concept we are calling now as marketing concept. Okay. There's another concept which is a bit beyond that. It's called the holistic marketing concept. In the holistic marketing concept is where we go to develop, design, and implement the marketing programs or processes and activities in very much details. So it's more impressive than the other ones that we've talked about. What do you mean by more impressive. In 4 areas, that's where we can identify that it's more impressive. One, it recognizes the aspect of internal marketing. Now, when you talk about internal marketing is a belief that your workmates or anybody who works in an organization is a customer to you. For example, I'm going to give an example to Joe. Joe Rusele, he's a procurement officer at the CUZ. For him, all of us who want things from him are customers to him. He has to ensure that he treats us the same way as he would treat an outsider as a customer. Okay? Here's another example. And a very good example is when you look at the manufacturing. Let's say you are making garments. And in the garments, you are always the design or the flow of work is always linear, for example. From one step to another step, from this step to the next step. Now, internal marketing recognizes that at the one at step number 1 looks at step number 2 as their customer. And now, step number 2 must accept or reject the work given from step number 1 if the quality is not accepted, because it's a customer. Once you accept, then you have taken it over as a customer. So step number 3 will also be inspecting step number 2. Step number 4 will inspect step number 3. That's how it goes. All of you are internal customers. Now, when you're talking about then, another way of appreciating the internal marketing is that you must inculcate in people. Every employee must come to appreciate that the customer is a very important person in our organization. I hope you followed the 3 aspects of internal marketing. If you are working here, every person you get in touch with, your workmates that you work with, they are your customers. If it's a process, whether it's in accounts or whatever production, the next person you are giving your job is also a customer. Third is that everybody in the organization must come to a realization and appreciation that the customer, in this case now, the outside customer, is an important person in an organization. All our activities are centered there. And therefore, whether it's a sweeper up to the managing director, must be able to know how to handle the customer. Very important. Hence, we're talking about customer services and issues like that. That is one aspect of the holistic marketing. The second is what we call socially responsible marketing. Socially responsible marketing is where you take into account the long-term welfare of the customers. Meaning, customers of the community must not look at you as your interest is only to make money and you get out of them. But you must be seen as part and parcel of that society, and therefore you're willing to contribute to that society. How do you contribute? First of all, you're making sure that your products are safe, they're not dangerous to the customers, but at the same time, you take into account some people can go, they even do the corporate social responsibility issues. But when it comes to products, you want friendly, environmental friendly products. You want to be seen that you are involved in waste management, for example, as a company. You are not the one in forefront to polluting the environment where you are operating from. Those are some of the things that must be seen as a responsible company. And that way you'll be called the socially responsible marketing. That is part of holistic marketing. The third one is what you are calling integrated marketing. Integrated marketing is where is a belief where you have put the customer at the center of your activity. Then the other departments in your company are helping. No, should I say this? The customer is at the center of your activity. The customer uh, knows the company through people in marketing, because are the people who are getting closer to the customer. Yeah. And because they're closer to the customer recognizes more those people in marketing. Now, the marketing department has a job now to integrate or coordinate the other departments in the company who are in the background or supporting you people in the marketing, since you are the one in the forefront dealing with the customers. Who are these companies? Production people, in accounts people, human resource people, technical people, and all those people. So, but you must find a way of integrating and making sure that they help you to deliver the satisfier to the customer. The last is what is called the relationship marketing as part of the holistic marketing. Relationship marketing is the building up of long-term relationships with the customers, suppliers, and things like that, distributors. Yeah, we will revisit this one as we move on in details in the other areas. But I think you're going to be able to read the rest of this that are there, because each one of those now is explained much more in details there for you. I've done much of the summarizing there for you. Okay, so those are the orientations that I wanted to share with you. Any questions?
None from me.
Okay. Any contributions from anyone? Maybe observation or.
I just wanted to ask, are the insurance companies falling under marketing concepts? Not so.
You see, now there's a lot of striving in most literature. Insurance companies tend to fall under selling concept, because especially those ones doing life insurance anyway. I don't know about the most of those that are doing general insurance, but it's in the same category. For example, personal or life insurance is not a mandatory, and therefore it's of late now, like us here in Zambia, that we can even buy. We go around looking for insurance policies. We never even wanted to think and to talk about it, because people, if you talk about it, people will associate you with death, for example, or you are buying a coffin for yourself, and that is accelerating your death. And we never wanted to talk about that. And I remember when we used to brush off the sales people from these insurance companies, if they want to sell to you, all you ask them is, you wish me dead? And then they even stop talking about it. Yeah, it's of late now that we're able to do those things. We appreciate those aspects now. So it's mainly about, now, when it comes to, for example, at what level can insurance companies move on to being market oriented? It's when now they go out there, these are the policies. This is the policy we've been selling this and this for years and years. Then they go to do a research onto the market. They find that the needs for the customers are not the same. They're different needs. And then they begin to come back and they come up with the services or products or policies that addresses those needs which they have found in the market. At that stage now, then you can say they are moving on to practicing the marketing concept only on that aspect. But there are so many things that could make us understand that this particular company is practicing marketing concept. How do they look at the customers in their planning, in their strategic approach, everything? Do they really see that the customer is the center driving the company or not, as it were? So that's a way I could answer that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Chung. Now, in a short while, I want to give you 2-3 minutes. Think about yourself as a marketing manager. After those 5 minutes, I'm sure you jot somewhere. I want you to share with us what you could see as what would be your job. In short, let's write the job description of the marketing manager. So each one of you must contribute. What do you see will be the role that the marketing manager plays in an organization? Okay, so you have 5 minutes to do that. The role of the marketing manager in an organization. I'm not just using a company. I'm not just mentioning a company. A company is part of an organization anyway. Yeah, so you can think about in the broader sense. So when you come, you just mention them, and perhaps you tell us where you think it's like that. That's it. Then we move on. 5 minutes. So by 8:50, you give me the answers.
Tayari sawa.
Okay, I'm sure now you've been able to come up with some list, eh? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go round one. You start with one, then another person. After that round, then we'll go second round just like that, so that everybody has a chance to talk. Okay, who would like to start?
I can start, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes, and apologies. I was driving during the time you were outlining the question. Just so I'm clear, you were asking about the roles of the marketing manager.
Yes, please.
Okay. I think what one of the roles I'd say is to conduct market research. So marketing managers do this to gain a clear understanding of what customers want.
Mm-hmm.
The second one would be to develop a marketing strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And
maybe we'll allow you to say those two alone.
Okay.
So that the others also can say, yeah.
Okay. So marketing strategy, just in a nutshell, really just outlines the methods a company will use to promote its products and services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much. So, if I can say, Toka has mentioned two.
Yes, sir.
That is to do with the finding out the needs of the customers by means of marketing research. Okay, which is correct. And then he's also mentioning about coming up with strategies. Okay. Joe, is that you want to contribute? Yeah, sure.
Yes, I wanted to say the job also of a marketing manager would be to manage the brand and also decide on the market segmentation, like which segment of the market to sell the product to.
Okay, good. Thank you also for bringing up two of those. Yeah. You got to before you can even decide, you got to identify which product, which market you are going to service. So as you have coded it very well, you segment the market and then identify which segment. Yeah. And after you're saying it's important that you manage the brand, so to speak. Yeah. Even if it's not a brand, even the whole product, actually, you got to manage that as it were. Good. Thank you very much, Leonard.
Are you able to get me?
Yes, I am getting you, and
Okay.
I'm sure the rest of the class is.
Yeah, the first point I had was the identification of the potential markets.
Okay.
Yeah, identifying the potential markets. In this role, the marketing manager can identify the customers that are likely to use their products and services.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. So identification of the marketing and the opportunities out there, very important as a job. Good. Who has not yet spoken? Mr. Chungu?
Yeah. The other role of a marketing manager is to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is the one who plans to make a path according to the goals that the company is trying to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a vision carrier because he's the one who is carrying a vision. So he's the one who's supposed to plan so that those people, the subordinates, they have to follow that plan so that they may achieve the goals of the organization.
Okay. You have promoted this person. Is even able to carry the vision of the company. Wow, from the customer's perspective, yes, they think is because you are the one always in touch with the customers, so you'll be seen as the vision carrier. And especially if you have really understood that vision, and that's why it's internalizing that vision or embracing that vision is very important as a marketing manager, because you have to find a way of implementing it. But in most cases, theoretically, we can say the vision carrier could be the CEO in an organization. You are the one who are charged with that responsibility to ensure that the vision for the shareholders, vision for owners of the business is carried out. Okay, but otherwise, thank you for that contribution as well. Okay. Any other contribution was not spoken, Mr. Manda?
Yes, thank you. One of the roles of a marketing manager, I think, is also to make a sales focus and a demand focus.
Okay.
It's one of the important roles of a marketing manager, because you have to focus your sales, you have to focus the demand in order for you to achieve your goals. And then secondly, generally, I think the roles of a marketing manager is to oversee the marketing department, to coordinate all the activities happening in the marketing department in order for it to run smoothly.
Okay, thank you. Good. Thank you for that contribution as well. Yeah. And talking about conducting that, forecasting the demand as well as the sales for the company, that responsibility is quite heavy on the shoulders of the marketing manager, because anything that goes wrong with that kind of forecasting will affect the rest of the company and the rest of other departments. And in most cases and in practice, you're going to see that all the other departments, if they're to come up with the budgets, first of all, they wait for your forecasts in terms of what revenue you foresee, how much do you see in terms of quantity that will be sold, and what kind of revenue you expected to. And then from there, they're able now to do the rest of other budgets. Yeah. So it's a very heavy responsibility as well. Good. Now at random, is there any other addition apart from what we have said now? Any other one that you would like to mention now? One or two?
I think another one I would add is maybe identifying new business opportunities.
Good.
Yeah, where the marketing manager would analyze the market trends.
Good.
And see where they're able to pick up some opportunities, if you will.
Good. Yeah. In fact, to broaden that, what he says, we usually term this as scanning the environment. It's a job as a marketing manager. You're scanning the environment to identify opportunities there, and also to identify the threats, by the way. What about competition that is coming? What can we do to ensure that we beat that competition? It's your job as a marketing manager. So you go to execute that very, very intelligently, actually, with passion, so to speak, because everybody else will be looking to you to tell them. And if you miss out what is happening in the environment, you can't even sniff the opportunities that are taking place out there, then you're going to lose business, so to speak. Okay. Good. Good. Thank you for that. Any other? No, I'm sure if you were writing, we have come up with a number of those points, eh? Yeah. So in an exam, if a question talks about, either the question says, what is the role of marketing in an organization? You can describe the same things that we're talking about. Or put it another way, what would be the job for the marketing manager in a company? You're talking about the same things, as it were. Yeah, there could be others that we've not mentioned. For example, they'll be the ones not only managing the brand and the product, They participate in setting up the prices, of course. If you're a marketing manager, you got to participate in that and convince even other departments at what price the product ought to be sold. You'll be responsible to ensure that the product is distributed. So you come up with even distribution plans and things like that. Yeah, delivering of the product up to the customer's level. Wow. What about sending the messages to the market, strategic messages that you have that are convincing to the customers? That will be a job that you as a marketing manager must be able to perform, so to speak. Okay. If you are listing them, there are more than 12 now. There should be more than 12 points. Good. That's about when we're talking about what? The roles of marketing in an organization. Good. Unless there's any question, I would like us to, now I'm debating to myself. The next topic is a bit long. Actually, it is. Because I want us to put your heading. I want us to talk about the marketing planning. The marketing planning. So you go to put that. Yeah. In your materials, we have just to help us to see the raw, how the whole marketing planning gets developed. They've started talking about it from the strategy, from the cooperative level, at a corporate level, then at the SBU level, which is business unit level, and then come into the department which we're calling as marketing plan. Yeah. Now I'll leave the other parts of coming up from when now we are doing marketing. My interest was we needed to write together or come up together a template for marketing plan. A marketing plan. Now to do that, it can take us 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So what do you think? Should we start it now and continue next, or we can agree to say let's next week start exactly at 19:30 or thereabout, nearer there, and we can go through it all together? What's your take? I want to hear from you.
I think next week is better.
Why, Joe? Okay, thank you for coming from you. Others?
Let's do it next week when our minds are fresh, sir.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, Mr. Kakoma?
Yeah, next week. At least we'll be able to start and finish next week instead of starting then you know, complete next week.
Okay. Could that be the views for the rest of others? The other two, Mr. Chongu and Mr. Namuyamba?
Yes, I second.
Hi. Okay. Mr. Namuyamba, same?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. I think let's look at that, put that as your heading. So we will go through the components of the marketing plan and how to come up with a marketing plan. It's something that you're familiar with, but I think it's better we create that template together. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it takes a bit of time, because we have to go through step by step together to do that. And here you can see it's very summarized. Yeah, but it doesn't look like this. That's why I want us to do it in another approach. Okay, thank you for your coming and for your patience at the same time. Let's be mindful that at least if we log in on time, then we can be able to be finishing. If we start 19:30, 19:30 by what could be the time? 21:30 thereabout, or even before that, we would be done. But if we can manage to be covering, like now we have covered 2 topics for today. So this one was going to be a 3rd topic. So which is okay. If we can be managing at least 2 topics per session that we meet, yeah, we're going to be able to move faster because we're already behind time. Okay, thank you very much. I'll be able to post, by the way, I think by next week you will be able to share the assignment as well. Yeah, to see how we can move on. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay, thanks then.
It's okay, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.